Good morning, everyone. I'm Roger DEBELL, Thornell Road Principal, and it is indeed a pleasure to welcome all of you to a very special day in our school's history, the rededication of our cornerstone and the replacement of a new time capsule that'll go behind it. Due to current COVID-19 restrictions, we're coming together by way of a live stream video. So in addition to us gathered here, we are live streaming this video into our classroom so our students are able to be part of this as well. 50 years ago on this very day, Friday, November 5th, 1971, at 10 a.m., the Thornell Road Cornerstone and time capsule were dedicated for the very first time. Joining us this morning, we have Ms. Daisy Davis and Mr. Peter Dohr, two former Thornell Road students who were in 6th grade 50 years ago, and they are now back with us 50 years later to celebrate the rededication of our cornerstone. And it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us after these years. We will get a chance to hear from Ms. Davis and Mr. Dohr from their recollections of Thornell Road in just a few minutes, a little later in the program. We are also joined this morning by our Board of Education President, Amy Thomas. We are joined by board members Sarah Peluzio, Robin Scott, and Jeff Casey. Our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Mike Piro. Jeff Beardsley, Director of Operations, Maintenance, and Security. Dan Fersman, Head of our Buildings and Grounds Department. Dennis Johnson and Jerry Michelli from our Maintenance Department, who are the two individuals who engineered the removal of our cornerstone and will help us put it back in to the safe place that it was for all those years. Rich Parkinson, our head custodian, and Miss Tony Stevens-Oliver, a 4th grade teacher and our Thornell Road historian. The construction of Thornell Road School was finished in 1970, and the cornerstone marks that year. But there's more to that story because students did not start arriving to Thornell Road until January 4th of 1971. They were following their winter recess. They relocated from the Lincoln Avenue School to Thornell Road. Students in kindergarten through grade 6 attended Thornell Road School following the relocation from Lincoln Avenue School. And it's interesting to note that that building is still in use today as the Spiegel Community Center at 35 Lincoln Avenue in the town of Pittsford. On Monday, January 4th, 2021, we celebrated a virtual 50th birthday party for Thornell Road. And we're continuing the celebration today and culminating that with our cornerstone and our time capsule. As we began to research more of our school's history, we found an original document that recorded those present at the cornerstone dedication ceremony that took place 50 years ago today. And in addition, there was a list of items that were recorded as being placed in a time capsule set behind the cornerstone. Up until that point, we had no idea that there was anything behind the cornerstone. So a few weeks ago, we were able to successfully remove the cornerstone in the time capsule, carefully remove the contents, and what we found were a number of items, including a school calendar from 1971-72, district newsletters, a teacher pay schedule that was a little shocking to see, a cafeteria menu, board minutes, newspaper and magazines, as well as photos from that time period. And we were very excited at what we found. Over the course of the last week or so, we have had those documents on display in our library and our STAR lab so that students and staff have had a chance to go through and see those items firsthand for themselves. In addition, we have recorded them by photograph and also by video to archive what was there so that we can make that available to a wider audience. So in honor of our school's 50th anniversary, we gather here today to rededicate and to replace the time capsule. The original time capsule was a very beautifully crafted copper box that was set in and actually sealed with solder. Unfortunately, over the years and the contents removal, it made that unusable for the next 50 years. So we are replacing the original time capsule, which is located in front of the podium, with a new modern fireproof, waterproof document bag that we believe will last very well. The documents that are inside there include kindergarten through 5th grade rosters. So every child that is presently enrolled at Thornell Road is part of that time capsule. A list of Thornell Road staff members, our PTSA leadership directory, a list of our board members and our central office team. We've accounted for the people behind the story in 2021, and everybody that is connected to our school at this time is represented and listed in our time capsule. So our hope is in that 50 years from now, when they maybe perhaps go through a similar ceremony, they will have a chance to see, and maybe a number of our students that are present today will come back for that 50th anniversary. Some of the items that we have also put in there, we did include a 21-22 calendar, a youth-sized face mask as a remembrance of where we are under this COVID cloud. There are a number of photographs in our yearbook from last year that also capture kind of where we are in our current situation. We have yearbooks, we have logos designed by Mr. Tom Palizzi, one of our school custodians, and some of his handiwork is actually visible in our main foyer as well. We also listed some of our important community partnerships, a description of current technology that is available to our students and staff, with the idea that perhaps 50 years from now things will look a little bit different. We also included the Democrat and Chronicle papers from November 3rd and November 4th. So we will keep the items listed. We are also going to recreate an original document that led us to the Cornerstone and the time capsule. That will be kept in a separate location and actually passed down so that we can create a little bit of a legacy. Our finding of the Cornerstone time capsule really was luck. So we're trying to make sure that we leave enough breadcrumbs so that those coming after us will find it very easily. So perhaps in another 50 years, we'll have a similar celebration. So not only is this the 50th anniversary of Thornell Road, but it is also the 75th anniversary of the Pittsford Central School District. And it is indeed an honor to have our superintendent of schools with us, Mr. Mike Pirro, present with us to share a few words. Mr. Pirro.
Thank you, Roger. I'd also like to call up our board president, Ms. Amy Thomas, as we've drafted a couple quick words together. First, I'd like to say hello to all of our students that are in the classrooms right now, and thank you for being so amazing as we start this new 50 years with this class, and thank you to our amazing staff and everyone that's here with us today. As our Pittsford School District celebrates 75 years in our anniversary this year, it's very apropos to have Thornell Road celebrating its 50th anniversary. To mark this historical occasion, a capsule that was placed in the cornerstone of the building on November 5th, 1971, was retrieved earlier this week and then repacked for today's rededication ceremony. The new time capsule holds similar artifacts from 2021, with the addition of unique items, as Mr. DEBELL shared, like a youth-sized face mask that reflects the historic COVID-19 pandemic. Among the items stored in the copper box from 1971 were local and national newspapers with stories about President Nixon, inflation, sound familiar? And draft boards being ransacked in protest to the military draft. Uncovering this time capsule from 50 years ago offers students an exciting glimpse into our past, not just for our district, but a time period in which Thornell Road School was established, bringing history to life in a very real way. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Amy Thomas, Board President.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to be here this morning to commemorate such a special historic moment. It's interesting to note that, like 2021, 1971 was a hugely transitional time in our nation's history when people were finding their voices to stand up for what they believed in. At the 1971 May Day protest, for example, more than 25,000 people demonstrated in Washington, D.C. to protest the Vietnam War. On July 10th, 1971, 320 women from all over the United States met in Washington, D.C. to found the National Women's Political Caucus to increase the number of women in all aspects of political life. At the founding meeting, Gloria Steinem delivered the historic Address to the Women of America, in which she characterized feminism as a revolution, striving for a society free of racism and sexism. In 1971, the U.S. Supreme Court also unanimously upheld busing programs that aim to accelerate the racial integration of public schools. These are just a few examples of the historic moments that have helped define our nation's history. We hope that the pieces of history stored in that time capsule from 1971 will spur our students' interest in history, honor the brave voices that affected change, and help students to realize that their voices can serve as instruments of change for their generation and for generations to come. And with that, I'd like to introduce our guest speakers to come up to the podium.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Who'd have ever thought 50 years ago that we would be back here on this day? And I'm Daisy and Peter. So I remember moving. We had already started school at Lincoln Avenue. We were at a very old school. And to move into this brand new that was almost not complete, but they needed to get us transferred over. And how exciting it was to be part of that.
I also have a lot of fond memories of being here as a new student when the school was new. My dad was actually the architect of this school, so I used to come here with him during the time of construction, and I would see as this building was going up, and then to be able to come here as a student was a real privilege. I think, as Daisy mentioned, we never could have expected 50 years ago as sixth grade students that we'd be here again today, but what a privilege this really is. I take a quick look around, and this building looks very well maintained and well loved over the years. I'm grateful to all the people that continue to make this such a great success in this school district here. It was a great place to grow up. I think about my teachers, my friends, the support people, the people that worked in the cafeteria, our bus drivers, all those people that shaped our lives in so positive and caring ways. Those ripples continue to have a really great effect. I think of the year and a half that I was here as the school opened. It was a real pleasure to be part of this new awakening and the new part of the school district as the buildings came online. It makes sense to me that the impact that the teachers and the staff people had on my young life, the way they were teaching me how not just to be a good student, but how to be a good person, how those things continued to push through me, through my children, through the people that I interact with in my work. Just a reminder that we all have a great impact, even on young people. So to be reminded that the work that you are all doing here on the school board, in the superintendent's office, and certainly here at the school, are having their value and will for decades. We're perfect examples of that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Pirro, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Davis, Mr. Dohr. It is indeed an honor to have you all with us, and we so appreciate the connection that you all have to Thornell Road and for your connection to our school history, which you have lived firsthand. So thank you so much. In one way or another, everyone connected to Thornell Road School is part of our school's history. And it's interesting to consider where we might be in 50 years. Our students that are here today will be somewhere between ages 55 and 60, which means our kindergarten students will be close to my age right now. So I will share this with you that it seems like a long time, but how quickly time passes. So embrace every day and make every day the very best that you can. To our students, my continued challenge to each of you is to always live the Thornell Road way, to let people know that you're a Thornell Road star, even when you don't tell them. Let your positive actions and examples of respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, and caring help to set you apart. And remember to live the Thornell Road way by always being your best and doing your best, even when no one is watching. And now we will make our way outdoors, and we will actually replace the time capsule and place the cornerstone in its fitting place. So I would invite everybody, it's a little chilly outside, but we will make our way outdoors for the closing of our ceremony. I'm gonna take that. I'll take that with me. I'll take it with me. And then if you guys want to bring that around.
Yep.
It should be hanging over. So you guys can go on.
Can I get I would like one of the three of you together by for our project.
I'm good, I'm just a supervisor. Okay. I just want to make sure you don't mess this up.
Okay, wait, hold on, I want to reenact that moment. Thank you.
We'll go off these doors and then we'll turn right to the left and you'll see what the cornerstone will be doing.
Are you officially a staff member? Up there?
Can we do one photo without the mask?
Yeah, we're outside now.
We're outside.
We are
We-
outside. We are outside.
Hold up, guys, hold up, hold up.
You want to go back to the same place?
Yeah.
Thank you, Nancy.
That's smart. He's got those transitions.
Thank you.
Can we do one more? We get the guys in here that-
Yeah, absolutely.
all of you.
Guys did all the work.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not getting away. Bye, Emily. Get in here. Get in here.
And you feel free to
Okay, so mask, guys, drop the mask. Drop your masks, sir.
Drop the mask.
Yeah, we're gonna get this smiley face.
Yeah, right.
Great. Yeah, guys.
Great.
Thanks, Aaron.
Amy and Mike, get a little bit closer.
Closer?
Yeah, I would say put the stone in, just so you're in the picture.
And Roger.
Roger, yeah.
Roger.
And the whole thing.
And with the replacement of the cornerstone, I congratulate everybody that has ever walked the halls of Thornell Road and led our school in amazing education for our students, their families, and the way that our staff and our leaders have always worked together and will continue to do so for another 50 years. So happy anniversary, Thornell Road.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you.